Is Zhatan the Black any good in patch 6.2? Now, this was the only Chaos Dwarf Lord I actually played when the channel first covered the faction. Also, Zhatan got a stealth buff in patch 6.2, so keep watching for all the details. He's still a melee and boost lord, and he still kicks a lot of green butt, which is good because Grimgor will always be your final boss in that part of the world. Costing 250 upkeep on foot, Zhatan strides in on Ultra with 5,820 health, so a tough-as-nails super overseer. Armor is 125, with a silver quality shield blocking 55% of small arms fire from the front. Treasure this, he'll lose this on mats. Missile resistance is 15% default, and fire resistance is 25% default, so he's good at concentrating blobs for a time. Leadership 85 is his minimum. Speed 32 and charge speed 41 are as expected. Melee attack begins at 62, elite level, and if this card is correct, attack interval is 3.75. I don't remember seeing that interval elsewhere. Splash target size is medium, so regular cavalry on down, and in the new system, max target splash is 5. Melee defense begins at 55. This is pretty high. Weapon strength 460 is split base 280 and armor piercing 180, and while that's high overall and decent AP, it's still favoring base damage. Charge bonus is 30, and mass is 1100. On foot, Zhatan is a siege attacker, has charge defense versus large, does not have charge reflection, can hide in forest, has the contempt mechanic, and has baked in a hard snare called Sadistic Snare, 2 uses, 120 second cooldown, range 20 meters only, but 33 second duration, minus 24 melee defense, and Grimgor becomes a perfect target for blunderbusses. I learned how to do that during my old campaigns. It helps a lot. For a guy with no spells, this is one very serious advantage. While Zhatan has the Great Taurus and Lamassu mounts like Overseers, the Great Taurus is basically a 1-to-1 conversion from the regular lord. Rather than dwell, let's look at the Lamassu. The regular lord actually had a higher melee attack base at the cost of catastrophically lower melee defense, whereas Zhatan starts at 44, melee attack with magical attack, and melee defense is 52, making him much more survivable on this mount, complete with Bound Shadow spells, his only magic available, and the Silenced Aura, which means Zhatan has only gotten stronger since launch. However, base charge bonus is only 40 like the regular Lamassu. As a faction leader, Zhatan causes 2 extra siege engines to be constructed whenever any are produced, so if you have enough labor for 2 towers in a given turn, you'll get 4. Maximum number of active convoys is +1, helping you be the king of economics and bonus items, and artillery and war machines are recruited for half normal cost, whatever is normal at that point. It's too bad this doesn't help with upkeep, but hey. Labor Master, his trait, causes Zhatan to capture 15% bonus casualties post-battle, which helps in all kinds of ways, and he grants +1 to local recruiting capacity, a bit boring but a real workhorse, especially now that base values for that got reduced to 2 for all races, right? The skill trees are identical to Overseers for the really buffed out blue line, the red line, and almost all of the yellow combat line, but midway instead of Foe Seeker, he gets the Boundless Cruelty passive aura, so -8 leadership, around him full time, 35 meter radius. The capstone is Heroic Killing Blow, which gives him some serious murderous power out there. Just remember, if you want him to be armor-piercing, you need him on the Great Taurus, not the Lamassu. Often you'll want him on the latter because it's a better overall mount to use against any casters or ability-dependent foes. In the top line, Unyielding Command at rank 8 will increase leadership aura by 20% and aura effect by +5, so with the red line first pip, that's a total of +13 leadership within that radius, and remember he triggers Malign Authority for Hobgoblins and Laborers anyway. The other pips are spell and missile resistance 10%. So at this point it all comes down to the very personal line. Brutality of Zharr grants him armor piercing +50 flat per blow, and bonus versus large 15, and that should apply to either mount as well, giving him considerable heft. Subjugation increases post-battle captives 10%, stacking with his lore ability, specifically boosts Laborers gain +15%, and +15% to post-battle loot. The Black gives him 5% word save, and old school full-time regeneration, but 20% fire weakness too. Of course, he's naturally strong against fire, even more so if on a Great Taurus. General of Zharr gives him minus 10% upkeep army-wide, which certainly helps with all your expensive artillery units, plus 10% casualty replenishment to get armies back on their feet faster, and recruit rank plus 1 for his own army. Haughty Resilience grants plus 15 armor to his entire army, even laborers, leadership plus 5, and melee defense plus 5. Finally, Laughing Killer gives him a fresh plus 50 armor piercing, so he should be 50-50 base AP, even if on foot, minus 10 leadership to enemies in the entire local region, and perfect vigor for himself. We're not quite done. For his 3 legendary items, Armor of Gazrak grants him armor plus 20, and this is a very, very big deal once he's on a mount, melee defense plus 10, and the namesake ability granting 48 seconds of 30% ward save to himself, cooldown 120 seconds, no use limit. Very nice. The Obsidian Axe gives him armor sundering, weapon strength a whopping plus 25%, armor piercing plus 100 flat per swing, and a stacking passive effect in battle, which with 200 kills will grant Zhatan plus 40 melee attack and plus 50% armor piercing, and armor piercing only damage. Chaos Rune Shield allows him ward save plus 10%, casualty replenishment plus 15% for his army, missile resistance 15%, and in a 35-meter radius, immunity to contact effects like poison, daze, slowed, sundered armor, you name it. Furthermore, all 3 will provide a set bonus, Campy movement range plus 5%, and that's nice, leadership aura plus 50%, and aura effect plus 10. So, combined with unyielding command, aura plus 70% size, and plus 23 leadership for Chaos Dwarf units, plus 31 leadership for Hobgoblin units and laborers. And that's without even slapping standard die on them. So how do we use Zhatan the Black? Here's the thing. Zhatan got buffed in patch 6.2. It may not look like that, but he did because the Hobgoblin Bolt Thrower now exists, and Zhatan can get them without unit caps at half the normal recruitment cost. It's like the Venerable Goblin Tide skill description. 1 Bolt Thrower unit? Who cares? 2? 2 can be useful against the Cathay Force system stuff. How about 6 units? 48 entities on Ultra. What? Why can't he? For him, it's dirt cheap, you know? And moreover, that minus 50% to recruitment cost is faction-wide. He can put 4 of them in a laborer army. So yes, Zhatan has been buffed. As I've gone over, Zhatan becomes a flying melee beatstick with stupid levels of leadership buffing around him, so he can rally Hobgoblin forces to fight to the death with creepy, crazed smiles on their faces, because they're a lot more afraid of him than the enemy. Chaos Dwarfs become truly unbreakable. Hell, even could die below 25% health might stay corporeal under him. Maybe. We hope. He has limits, but that hard snare is truly wonderful to use. It's not like blunderbusses do less damage under him, and once he gets rolling and puts 15 armor on its entire army, including himself, well, he becomes kind of special. He's just hardcore and makes everyone around him better. That's great because your only area effect damage comes from artillery and spellcasters, not him. Well, he makes enemies around him wonderful targets for artillery and spellcasters. That will come up probably a lot. The blunt fact is, this kind of broken level of casualty replenishment means he can do crazy intense campaigns and recover from each battle fantastically strongly. So total strategic aggression is his thing. Just remember, he needs caster heroes and benefits faction-wide from the most brutal artillery you can bring. And if you can't do the unit caps, well, now you can bring more bolt throwers, and cheap, semi-reliable artillery is a godsend versus not having any at all. And whatever their issues, in field battles, they hit gates, walls, and towers just fine. Honestly, my testing has shown that they're actually not that bad against regular units, but they're not going to be anywhere near as good as a magma cannon either. So, mileage will vary. Just remember, snare Grimgore, pump him through of black steel shards, use sneaky gets on his Doomdiver catapult, Unlock extra blunderbusses as insurance against Doom Divers, reducing your blunderbusses below the point you can finish Grimgore off easily. Believe me, this is the worst threat to your campaign early on, though Tamarkan exists now, so there's that too. Take care and have fun, because the Laughing Killer knows all about how laughter is good even for the blackest of souls.